Hello, my name is Tara Tabatabai. This is my presentation. Also, excuse this jacket. I will fix it for the final on Thursday. I haven't had heat at my apartment for 4 days. Um, this presentation is a review of my senior practicum project to finish my BSN program. I have been working as a registered nurse on an acute psychiatric behavioral health unit for the past 3 years, straight out of school from ECBI, as an ADN. This project was designed to improve staff confidence, promote patient safety, and staff safety as well, and reduce behavioral escalation events in general. I hope you all learned something from this as well. I do certify that I am the sole author of this paper. Any information in this paper that is not my own is clearly documented. I use quotation marks appropriately. I cited any and all sources from which I use data, images, ideas, or words, ethical quote, either quoted directly or paraphrased using the APA's most current educational standards. I also certified the information in this paper was prepared by me specifically to the purpose of this assignment, and I have not submitted any parts of this paper previously assignments. I understand the plagiarism policy by the university, and nothing in this paper violates intellectual property laws. My name typed below is intended to be the same as my signature for the document. All right, let's get started. So problem. Increased behavioral escalation on the unit as of 6 months ago. Risk to patient staff and members. Inconsistent de-escalation approaches. Need more structured plans. As of about 8 months ago, my unit began admitting more aggressive psychotic manic patients. We were always known as a unit that declined those type of patients because of our acuity and the lack of resources we have. We only have 22 rooms. Each nurse gets like the max we've gotten is like six. I got seven one night because we were short staffed, but it can just be a lot. We do not have to access to IVs, severe pain management, and do not accept patients who are not medically cleared. We do have an ER downstairs if a medical emergency arises. We used to have extremely strict criteria for admission. That has now changed, and we are now accepting patients we are not used to, which can be a huge safety issue. Behavior escalation is a frequent event on psychiatric units, and it can be a safety risk for both the patient and staff members. Research shows that inadequate or inconsistent use of de-escalation techniques can, sorry, my computer just froze. Oh my God. Can increase reliance on escalation techniques like restricted interventions like seclusions, restraint, emergency medication with or without a physical hold. Before I began the project, I noticed a huge increase in behavioral events that led to patient and staff injuries, including my own. In the past 3 years that I have worked on this unit, we have never had to use the seclusion room or restraints, but we were administering more emergency IMs with or without a physical hold. Um, I felt as though some of those incidents could have been avoided with proper de-escalation techniques. My unit consists of nurses from all different backgrounds. I'm going to be mentioning that a lot. Some have been psychiatric nurses working in the same unit for over 20 years, while others come from other units with other shared experiences. Since we don't typically handle patients with major medical issues, it is great to have our float pool nurses who work in the emergency room, our ICU nurses, our med surg float pools. They have more experience in that field and come help us. Um, all right, goals and objectives. The goal was to improve staff de-escalation competency. Objectives: deliver structured education to staff members, evaluate knowledge retention, receive feedback, and debrief. My favorite. The main goal of this project was to improve staff competency and confidence when using evidence-based de-escalation techniques. The first objective involved delivering a structured educational session using a PowerPoint presentation and a printed educational handout that I let them keep for safekeepings. I first had to get permission from my unit director, which was part of my evidence. Then I began researching literature, part of my evidence. I then created a lesson plan. I also created a PowerPoint video that included some time for role play, along with an educational handout, like I mentioned, staff can hold for reference. The second objective measured the learning outcomes um of staff through a 5-question post-educational quiz they were not very happy about. Everyone took a 5-question post-educational quiz to test knowledge retention. The third and final objective evaluated staff satisfaction and gave me the opportunity to receive feedback using a survey I gave them. Everyone also filled out a survey with the option to write down feedbacks. I received feedback such as wanting more refreshers throughout the year and to possibly add this to education for orientation for new hires during our residency program. I also did a debrief after every educational session to start conversation with staff members. This is great because, like I said, we have staff members from all over, so those conversations are so fun and gets us through our night shifts and our hard times. Um, it was nice to start that conversation and share stories and get more insight, especially for the newer nurses. The stories were either from different units years ago or completely different state, which is everything's very different everywhere. Um, Achievement of objects. 16 staff members completed the education. 12 staff members scored 100% of the quiz. 4 staff members missed one question. Positive quality feedback. So 16 staff members completed the education session. We had that huge turnover. We had a lot of staff. I picked up more shifts and had plenty of time to educate our staff on the unit. 12 of the staff members achieved a perfect score in the post-educational quiz. This showed that they retained the knowledge from the educational session. 4 staff members missed only one question. And I want to mention that those 4 staff members were patient care techs and were newer to the unit. Staff feedback was positive, and the education material with requests for continued refreshers. Like I said, these findings suggest that the objectives were achieved successfully. Um, the educational intervention incorporated evidence-based strategies supported by the psychiatric nursing guidelines. The content emphasized supporting a calm therapeutic tone, respecting personal space, reducing environmental stimuli, and offering choices to the patients. We're always there saying no, no, no because of safety. Sometimes it's nice to choice like an apple juice. Here's a warm blanket, those type of things. Um, there was opportunity for role play during the PowerPoint education session, which was really fun and for practice. We were goofing around. It made the night fun. We had some tough nights. Um, so like I said, a 5-question multiple choice quiz was given to each staff member after the educational session. A survey was also given. Um, to gather qualitative feedback about clarity, usefulness, recommendations for the improvement. Debrief discussions, like I mentioned, were also done after each session for more opportunity to give feedback and just to share stories, like I said. Um, yeah. The outcome included measurable knowledge improvement and reported increase in staff confidence. It also boosted my confidence even doing this project and speaking with other staff on the unit I normally do not speak with. The intervention promoted a consistent approach to crisis management in a behavioral health unit setting. Evidence suggests that structured de-escalation education reduces aggressive incidents and enhances therapeutic alliance. This project supported that. The project can be incorporated into inexperienced staff orientation and annual competency training. Since a lot of staff members opted for that, it aligns with quality improvement frameworks focused on reducing restraint use and promoting trauma-informed care. From future tracking of restraints rates and incident reports could provide informatic outcome I've already seen a difference in how my unit handles behavioral crises. Um, for example, when a patient was psychotic, confused, or just not listening or following the rules, multiple staff would usually talk at once when evidence shows that one primary speaker should be speaking, and that's at that moment. And I got to see that firsthand, and it was awesome. This project strengthened my leadership skills, educational delivery, and evaluation skills. It reinforced the nurse's responsibility as someone who translates educational information into daily practice. Lifelong learning in nursing requires ongoing evaluation of practice, standards, and commitment to patient-centered trauma-informed care. Overall, this project was a success and has helped me grow as a leader and a nurse. Here are my references. I hope you enjoyed this video as much fun as I did with your projects.